I want to talk about the Hamilton-Perez incident because it's been a bit of a flashpoint, and it's not that I want to talk about it. I feel like I should talk about it. There was an incident between Hamilton and Perez. I watched the highlights of the sprint race and I didn't even see anything happen, but I had heard Hamilton got a penalty. I'd heard that it knocked Perez out of the race, and I heard that it knocked Hamilton tumbling down from P4 to P7. Now, obviously, I've noticed since I started streaming stuff online that Formula One really does not like it when you stream their stuff. So what I thought I would do is find this replay, and I really hope this won't get me in any trouble. We're not going to watch it live, but we're going to analyze it, not frame by frame, but we're going to have a bit of a good look at it, right? And we're going to see what happens, and then we're going to read some comments. And after watching this and then reading those comments, you can tell me whether those comments are justified or whether you think they're a cock and bull story, basically. This is the corner where it happens. You can see Hamilton is challenging on the inside. Perez is on the outside. Right here, Hamilton's a little bit behind, but not too bad. You can see that they're fighting. Here is where the corner starts to close. Hamilton's still on the inside. Perez squeezing over slightly. Not saying he's not, but that's what happened. Notice also, one thing I'm going to point out as we go through this, the angle of Hamilton's steering wheel. So he's steering in reasonably hard here. This will obviously be different if you watch it live as well. Your interpretation of it, the way people react, you know, what they're doing as they move through the corner, all of that will be completely different than this. I'm just making a point with this. So Perez closing in, getting in closer to the corner, Hamilton turning in more. Oh, this is actually coming out of the corner. So this is an important point to make here. If you notice here, Hamilton, look how much Hamilton is turned in here. This is where he's over on the curb to avoid making contact with this fella over here. They get out of the corner. Hamilton suddenly opens up his steering wheel here, and the car moves to the left. Now, we'll get to what the stewards deemed later, but remember Hamilton was on the curb. And remember these conditions, pretty dodgy, pretty mixed. We get on a little bit further. Here's Hamilton really opening it up. Look at this. He's basically going straight, and he's behind the whole time. Now, you know, you can be alongside, fine. He's also quite a way away from the curb over here. We start to get to the point over here where we start making some contact. Perez running out of space here. Hamilton moved quite a way away from the edge of the track here. Perez moving closer to the track over here than Hamilton is almost. We get to the point where there's contact, bang. And look where the cars are when the contact happens. Just not a good look, right? Obviously, sometimes you've got to turn to somebody who truly knows what they're talking about. And in my times of need, I look to none other than Martin Brundle, Sky Sports F1 commentator, former driver, decades of experience, extremely well respected. If that's not racing, then I don't know. Martin Brundle feels for Lewis Hamilton after he was handed a harsh 5-second penalty. As he made his move, Hamilton understeered slightly and made contact with the side of Perez's car, causing significant side pod damage. The damage proved to be severe enough to force Perez out of the race as he rapidly fell down the order due to the impaired performance of his car. This next line killed me. The penalty had a significant impact on Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton's race, dropping him from 4th to 7th place in the final classification. They're equating Perez getting hit and his car being damaged to Hamilton tumbling down the field due to a penalty that he got. Brundle, who is renowned for his insightful commentary and deep understanding of the sport, shared his perspective on the incident. Defending Lewis Hamilton's actions, Martin Brundle highlighted the essence of racing and the inherent unpredictability of on-track situations. He stated that it was not the case of Hamilton attempting an impossible move or recklessly endangering himself or others. Hamilton had legitimately positioned himself on the inside of the corner, making his move in line with the competitive nature of the sport. This might stun you. I don't know every F1 rule and regulation, but, you know, I know a straw man argument when I see it. Martin is saying Hamilton didn't deserve a penalty because he wasn't reckless and he didn't just throw his car up the inside. But you might not believe this, but that's not the standard that you have to meet for not getting a penalty here. He also said Hamilton had legitimately positioned himself on the inside of the corner, making his move in line with the competitive nature of the sport. Now, no one's saying Hamilton didn't legitimately position himself on the inside of the corner. No one's arguing that. But that's also not all you have to do. In Martin Brundle's eyes, the collision was a racing incident and the penalty handed down was too severe. He argued that Lewis Hamilton had claimed the corner. He wasn't even in front, but apparently he claimed the corner. And even if he did, that doesn't excuse what he did on the exit. He claimed the corner and was already positioned on the inside when the incident occurred. Okay, sure, I guess. Furthermore, Brundle pointed out that there had been an error in the corner before by Sergio Perez, which might have contributed to the situation. This breaking news just in, that's not how that works. You can't say Hamilton didn't deserve a penalty because Perez made a mistake on the corner before. That's just not how that works. I understand what the stewards have done. This is Brundle. But I would want to call that a racing incident because Lewis can't disappear in that moment. He claimed the corner. What can he do? Lewis claimed the corner. He can't disappear. Those things are all true. He hit him on the exit of the corner, wrecked his car, wrecked his race. You saw how that steering wheel was moving, whether it was because he drove over the curb, whether it was the conditions, whatever. Hamilton was the one who drifted into Perez and wrecked his car. This is wild stuff. It truly is. Let's have a look at the damage on Perez's car. This is from the new Threads web interface. Yay for Threads, hey? All they need now is a way to pause the video, but look at this. Look at this damage right here. Tore that thing a new a-hole. Do you know what I'm saying? When Toto Wolff saw that, he said,
"The car is bad, we know. Please drive it."
But he couldn't drive it because he wrecked it. That car is stuffed. Mate, there's no coming back from that. That won't buff out. Okay. Headline, Hamilton ruined Perez's race, but did it deserve a penalty? Well, that's the question. Our takes on it. This is John Sotil, blah, 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 blah. Therefore, Hamilton did ultimately cause the collision, and a small 5-second penalty that he still had the potential to nullify during the race seems like a fair punishment to me, and exactly the kind he'd be calling for if the positions were reversed. Good call. The other thing I'm again calling for, nobody with any experience or justification. What I'm calling for yet again is not a 5-second penalty, because as John points out here, Hamilton got a 5-second penalty and he was in a position then to put the hammer down and try and close off some of that 5 seconds and mitigate the penalty, which you just shouldn't be able to do. So I am yet again asking you, Bernie Sanders style, please give us a 1-position drop penalty option that we can just say, Hamilton, no matter where you finish, you are going to get a 1-position drop. That's it. End of story. Going back to the hot takes from the folks at therace.com, here's Matt Beer. I think it's fair to say that Beer falls in the Brundle camp. Matt Beer, this was a pure racing incident, as pure as you're going to get. If you're going to penalise it on the grounds of the consequence it had, then the implication is that dangerous driving that doesn't result in someone getting damage isn't penalty worthy. Now, again, that's not true. That's not actually it. You could do both. You could say the way you drove, knocking another car out of the race, the consequences of that mean that you deserve a penalty. You could also say someone who is dangerous driving in a way that doesn't result in another car getting damaged could also be penalised. So this argument, so far, let's just say I gave it some water and it didn't hold it very much. Offering an opinion on Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes, Red Bull spat is always a little dicey these days. You see what he's done here? He's conflated an incident between Lewis Hamilton and a Red Bull driver. I mean, I think you can already tell where he's going with this. Verstappen was not involved in this incident, by the way. Just remind you. Offering an opinion on any Hamilton, Mercedes, Red Bull spat is always a little dicey these days. He's aware how dicey this is. Let's see where he goes, especially if you happen to be the same nationality as one of the parties involved. So in the interests of balance and to hopefully avert any British bias response, I'll add that I saw nothing particularly wrong with how the end of the 2021 season played out. Matt Beer, why would you go there? This is Austria all over again, where Hamilton was given a penalty for the way he drove, a fair and reasonable penalty that moderately affected his poor results. And we have to go drudging up 2021 Abu Dhabi again. Unbelievable. Martin Brundle, Matt Beer are saying this.
Lewis, I love you and respect you.
And I am saying this.
I'm tripping major nutsack right now.
And Max Verstappen won and he couldn't care less and he's got more important things on his mind.
Mate, where's the toilet paper?
Look, I'm having fun. You have to have fun when you do these things.